Good morning and welcome to another edition of Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Paul, the owner of Oxford Yoga Studio in downtown Oxford, 18 North Washington. Hope you had a good week. And let's get ready to do some yoga this morning. I want you to sit at the front of your mat. You can have your legs extended or your feet crossed. Bring your palms together at the center of your heart. Close your eyes. Before every practice, we set our intention. This can be for a friend, family member, for the world, for someone you're not on good terms with. But whoever that intention is for, know that they will get just as much of the benefits of the yoga practice as you will. So we just seal in that intention just by bowing chin to chest. And come back up. We start to warm up the body a little bit. This morning we're going to do more yin yoga, just very passive, helping out the joints, the ligaments, the tendons of our body. It's called connective tissue. As we get older, it's really important to strengthen our joints. You may know people with back issues or knee issues or shoulder issues or elbow issues or wrist issues. So this type of yoga is really trying to strengthen those areas of the body. So let's just roll forward in the tabletop. Hands and knees, pose. Just going to do some cat-cows, warming up the back. I want you to have your hands directly underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Take a quick look back. If you see your feet, just bring them behind your knees. Coming to a flat back, we're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Then exhale, round the back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. Come to a flat back. Bring the big toes of your feet together. Sit back on your heels, coming into our first child's pose of the morning. Extending our arms straight in front of you. You can have your knees close together, or you can have your knees wide apart. Totally up to you. And slowly come up to hands and knees pose. We're going to do thread the needle, another spine and back opener. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, your right arm up to the sky. And take your right arm, slide it underneath your left arm, twisting over to the left. Your right cheek of your face coming to the mat. You can have your left hand, you can keep it on the mat, or if you want a little more of a twist, you can bring it onto the small of your back. Now if your hand is on your back, place the left hand back onto the mat. Very slowly unwind the right arm from behind the left. Inhale it to the sky. Gently place it down. Now we'll do the other side. So inhale the left arm up to the sky. And exhale, slowly bring the left arm behind the right. As you twist over to your right hand can stay on the mat. Or for more of a twist, you can bring it onto the lower back. But as always, honor your body. See how it's feeling. If you're feeling good, go for more of a twist. If not so good, just keep the hand back on the mat. your back, place it back onto the mat, and slowly unwind the left arm, bring it up to the sky, place it gently back onto the mat, and let's come back into child's pose. Very slowly come back up. And if you have a blanket handy, just put it in the middle of your mat. If you don't, that's fine. We're just going to come to kneel, come to a kneeling position. We're just going to open up or loosen up the ligaments of the ankle and the foot. We don't do it too often. We should, but we don't. So starting in a kneeling position, you're just going to sit back on your heels. We're not going to stay here too long, because if you don't know already, can be a very uncomfortable position just because we don't really stretch out that part of the body too much. We're sitting up tall. If you want, you can just bow your chin, stretching out the upper neck here. And slowly come up to kneeling. Now we're just going to do one additional pose. We're going to stretch out our toes, which we don't stretch out very often. So kind of come up a little bit and come on your tippy toes. And now we're just going to sit back on our heels. So we're really working the toes. And again, we're not going to be here very long because, if you don't stretch out your toes, it can be very, challenging pose. But we're just stretching them out. Always try to stretch out the whole part of the body. Now slowly come up to kneeling. Come to a seated position at the front of the mat. This is the end of our first segment. So take a quick drink of water, get a towel, take a few breaths, and in the next segment we will start into some of the yin poses that we're going to do for the rest of the practice. Welcome back to our next segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. We're going to continue in a seated position doing some yin yoga. So the first pose we're going to do is called caterpillar. So extend your legs straight in front of you. And before we get into it, just take your hands, bring them by your hips, and just push yourself up a little bit. It kind of tilts the pelvis forward. And then we're just going to fold forward, let the feet and the knees open up, let the head drop. We're going to be in these poses. Typically, you're in a yin pose for about 3 to 5 minutes. But for this practice, we're not going to do it quite as long. So, if you feel in any of these poses that your muscles are quivering, you feel tension in any area of the body, that's a good thing. It means that the muscles are working, they're strengthening, they're really being used. And that's what we want. But we're using them in a passive way. And what I mean by that is we're not like stretching. We're not really trying to really challenge ourselves like we would do in, say, a regular, normal yoga class. So. But don't get me wrong, yin yoga is still pretty challenging, just for different reasons. Very slowly, come back up to seated. This time, I want you to widen your legs, but only as wide as is comfortable. And again, take your hands by your hips. Just press yourself forward a little bit. Now we're just going to fold forward, letting the chin drop, hands come to the mat. Breath is very normal. About 1 more minute left. If you have any thoughts, like, are we done yet? Are we done yet? That's very common in yin. Just let any of those thoughts go. Very slowly come back up to seated. Now I want you to come into a kneeling position. We're going to do a pose called dragon. So we're going to start with placing our right foot at the front of the mat with a lunge into it, kneeling on our left knee. Just take your hands, place them on top of your right thigh. This is called dragon. The more forward you come, you'll feel it in the inner thigh, the groin area. It's a really good stretch. We don't hold it for nearly as long as we would the other poses. And you may be thinking that you know why as we do this pose. And slowly come up. And then we're just going to switch sides. So kneel on your right knee. Extend your left leg forward. Nice lunge into it. I always find it's helpful to have a blanket underneath your knee, just for support. Again, put your hands on top of your left thigh, and you can just lean forward. And slowly come up and make your way to a seated position again. Extend your legs straight in front of you. Bring the soles of the feet together, but keep them away from your body for butterfly. And again, bring your hands behind your hips. Just press yourself forward. And then fold forward. The chin drop to the chest. Knees open wide. Breath go, close the eyes. very softly, very gently, because we don't want to cause any injuries. So this is the end of our next segment. Take a quick drink of water, get a towel, take a breath, we go to the bathroom, and then we'll finish up in our final segment with some more yin. Welcome back to our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. We're going to do a pose that I don't think we've done in any of the classes. This one's called pigeon pose. And there's a lot of different ways to get into it, but I'll just show you the basic premise of it. So you're going to take your wand, we're going to start in the right shin. You're going to try to bring it up, your right foot up by your left wrist. It may or may not get there, it's fine if it doesn't. And then you're going to extend, in this case, our left leg back, pressing the top of our left foot into the mat. And then we're just folding forward onto the mat. This is good for the hips and the buttocks. In yoga, we believe that a lot of our emotions, a lot of our stress are in our legs and our hips and our butt. So this is a really good pose for getting all that stuff out. Very slowly press your hands into the mat. Kind of come back to a modified down dog. Kind of shake your right leg, move it around, bring some circulation back into the body. Then place it down. And then from down dog, we're going to do the other side. So you're going to bend your left knee and bring your left shin. Bring the foot toward the right wrist. Extend your right leg back. And then again, we're just going to fold forward. And again, very slowly press your hands into the mat. Kind of come back to a modified down dog. Shake out the left leg. Make any movements. And then come back to a seated position. Now we're going to make our way to lie on our back. Straighten your legs out onto the mat, keeping your left leg straight. I want you to bend your right knee, bring it into the chest. And then slowly release your right leg onto the mat. Now bend your left knee, bring that into the chest. Now bring both knees into the chest. Really hug them in. Rock side to side. Then bring your arms out to a T. Let your knees gently drop over to the right. And if it's available, you can lift your head and take your gaze over your left shoulder. But you don't have to. Bring your knees and the gaze back to center. Gently drop the knees over to the left. And then maybe lift your head. Bring your gaze over the right shoulder. Very slowly bring the knees and the gaze back to center. Hug them into the chest. Rock side to side. And however you do, make your way to a seated position at the front of the mat. Sitting up tall. Bring your palms together at the center of the heart. Close your eyes and bow your chin, coming back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice. As always, it is always a pleasure for me to do this practice and for letting you guys watch this. It's really an honor for me to teach it to you guys. The light in me bows, shines, reflects the incredibly kind energy that is within your heart. And as we always do, we end with the word Namaste.
There is a place where the air is pure and water runs sparkling clean. There is a place where a small, quaint village stands, surrounded by vast meadows and rolling hills. That place is the jewel of Oakland County. It's called Oxford, Michigan. If your dream or vision is for a safe, secure, and better life for you and your family, this is your invitation to come see for yourself the wonderful experience that could be yours. It's true that many lakes, nature trails, fishing, and over 500 acres of parks attract lots of people to Oxford. But there's much, much more. Quaint little shops, small pubs, and many unique fine restaurants. Near the center of town is a white church with a steeple, and a park where a live band can be heard playing from the gazebo on hot summer nights. You are easily transported into a more relaxed and unhurried time. Although the village of Oxford reminds you of years past, the warmth and pride of its hard-working residents truly sets it apart from other communities. Oxford School Board has worked with parents to provide their children with the finest education possible. The result? A modern global school system with the first world-renowned international high school program, the 5th Core World Language and Culture program, and 11 premier sister schools expanding the globe from China to Mexico. Oxford residents are safe and secure in knowing they have one of the most modern police and EMT forces in Oakland County. If your vision is to start or expand a new business venture in a fiscally responsible environment, Oxford, Michigan welcomes you with open arms. We are one of the few Oakland County communities to offer the unique one-stop program, where Oxford officials make it easy for developers and builders to complete their projects from start to finish. The one-stop process cuts through financial and legal red tape, frustration that usually faces entrepreneurs as they try to get their project off the ground. If your dream is for a new business venture or a better life for you and your family, there is a place called Oxford, Michigan.